I have tried to record this video like 10 times, and the universe is just not, it just doesn't want me to be great this morning. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of In West Mills by Deshaun Charles Winslow. I picked up this book a few weeks ago. I included it in my pandemic book haul. So if you'd like to check that out, hop over to my channel and click on that video and check it out to see some of the books that I've picked up during this pandemic from my local independent bookstore. If you've noticed, I haven't uploaded in like about a week and a half, and that's mainly because I was doing the online AP Summer Institute. I am teaching AP Language and Composition this coming fall. So with everything that's been going on, I've just been like super hyper focused on that. Please just keep any educators that you know in your thoughts and prayers, because we really need it during all of this. In West Mills. What a novel. I know that a novel is good when I finish it in one sitting, and that was definitely the case in this. Well, I sat in multiple places in one day to finish it. I started on my couch, went to my bed, read on the toilet because toilet reading is some of the best, and then back in my bed. And all the while, I literally was like putting sticky notes on like every other page to let me know that I need to go back and reread what was said, because even though this is a fiction novel, some gems were dropped. Some gems were definitely dropped, and especially by like Not, and even Pep at certain points in this novel. I'll get into the characters in a second. What I really appreciate about this novel is it is divided into parts, which really gives you a chance to sort of come up for air, especially with all of the drama and emotions that are packed into this novel's 247 pages. One thing about this novel is it's set in a community in North Carolina, and the time period it spans from 1941 all the way to 1987. So you get this very extended period of time, and all of this, we're basically going through these characters' lives from the time when they're in their 20s all the way up until they are elderly. I appreciated how Deshaun Winslow divided up this album, so you get this big chunk of the characters' lives. They are able to sort of like,
wow, that really just happened? Okay. I wonder what's gonna happen next.
So even if you're like trying to like binge read this, you will have like breaks where you can go and refill your glass of wine, make some more coffee, something. But I really appreciated that about this novel. Each and every character in this novel is unique and dynamic, and they play off of each other in a way that only somebody that is inspired by the greats like Toni Morrison, Alice Walker, and Zora Neale Hurston could do. And I read the acknowledgments of this novel, and I saw that that is precisely who Deshaun Winslow was inspired by when he wrote this. And there's just something about those writers and the way that they wrote for Black people, about Black life, and included even like these sort of like mundane, regular old aspects of everyday Black life. And that's what made a lot of their work so great. Like even in West Mills, you get these points where like towards the beginning of the novel, it's like Otis Lee is sitting in his backyard, and it's just a conversation about his chickens, where it's just talking about just the way these characters are living, and it's not always drama. And I really appreciate that about a lot of Black literature. And I feel like Deshaun Winslow is really carrying on that tradition. So the characters, I couldn't help but love Not as a character. She reminds me of Sulla. From Sulla by Toni Morrison, and I have been reading a lot of Toni, and one thing about her writing is her characters rub off on you, and you can identify with them in so many different ways. It even gets to the point, and I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, where specifically when I read Sulla, it has completely altered the way that I view life, love, relationships. And Not is a character that I I admire the way that she chooses to live her life. She wants to read her books and drink her liquor and mind her own business, no matter what anybody else thinks. And she brushes off all these opinions of the people in the books because she knows how she wants to live, and she knows what makes her, she knows what makes her happy. She knows what she enjoys, and she's like, I'm going to live that life no matter how you guys choose to gossip about me and judge me, and whether or not you think I'm making the right decision or not. And I don't want to give too much away, but in terms of her children, I honestly appreciate her for knowing that that's not what she wanted for her life. And you may agree, you may not, but I just really appreciate her character for what it offers in terms of perspective on life, and how you just can't let other people make decisions for you. You know yourself better than anybody else knows you. And forcing yourself to live life a certain way because that's what people expect is never going to be the right way. It's not good. Or else you'll be miserable for the rest of your life. But Valley, oh my gosh, like when I read the description for the novel, I sort of got the feeling that we would encounter queer characters. And the way that Deshaun Winslow wrote Valley, he is unapologetically gay as hell. I'm not saying it in the way that his sexuality defines him. He is not a queer character that is written for straight people. And there is this whole conversation that was happening recently on social media, specifically Twitter, where people were talking about queer characters that are written for straight people. And you can tell because they're always written in a way that everything needs to be explained. But Valley is just himself. He is whole. He is a person. He has his own thoughts. He handles relationships in his own way. He lives his own life, not ashamed. He makes this novel feel full. Because I often wonder why queer characters are completely erased from stories that take place in the past. Like this book, it takes place in 1941. That's where we start at. There were Black queer people that existed during that time, openly. And so I really appreciate who Valley is as a character. Deshaun Winslow really shows that it's possible to give these characters a voice. Otis Lee as a character, he really gives this book balance. I don't know if I like him. Otis Lee does give this story balance, and Pep really rounds him out. Pep is who makes Otis Lee dynamic. She is the foil for his character. Pep is wild. She's unapologetic. She is a no-nonsense woman, and she's necessary for this story. When you get to page 203, I need you to just let me know what you think, because I myself said Pep ain't shit. The things that Pep does, I hate them, but you can't help but admire the things that this woman does to protect her family, because she cares, because she loves her family. And it's not even really to her own detriment, which I really liked, because oftentimes you get like no-nonsense women and then something terrible happens to them because of it. But Pep is just Pep. I really appreciate all of these characters and who they are, from even like Knott's parents, Knott's sisters, the people in the neighborhood that they come in contact with. It almost reminds me of like that community that you find in Their Eyes Were Watching God, or that you see in Beloved. All the ups and the downs, the drama, the gossip, all of those great things that sort of make up a community. All I can really say to wrap this all up, In West Mills is like a movie that I can't wait for the sequel to. Like, I'm just waiting to find out more information, because I can see this I can see this expanding. And I'm just super excited to see the characters that Deshaun Winslow creates in his follow-up novel to In West Mills. Whether or not it's a sequel or whether it is just a completely new world that he chooses to create, I really want to be immersed in whatever he writes next. And if I had to give this book a rating, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I wish that I could have done that on Goodreads because I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. But this novel, it really, there isn't much that that I can find fault with in it. I do sort of wish that it had been spread out a little bit more, but you know, I can understand what Deshaun Winslow is doing in compacting the story into 247 pages, giving us this peek into this world. I loved it though. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will see you in the next video, and always remember that you are loved.